What's up, guys? So, for this first episode of matchup analysis, we're going to go over Yone versus Darius, which is a matchup that many people think it's a hard counter, where I would actually put it in a slightly Darius favored skill matchup. And the reason for that is once you get Bork, you're actually really favored in the 1v1. And in lane, since the minion changes, especially, you get to have the wave coming back to you a lot more often and a lot faster, so you don't get as behind early. And in this matchup, with this VOD, I will demonstrate how I usually try to win this matchup. So first, setup-wise, I go for lethal tempo, very usual, with absorb life, alacrity, and cut down. This is very classic for Yone. And then as secondary, I like to go bone plating and shield bash. And this is like the best defense is a good offense type of mentality with D-Blade as well. So the thing is, when he's going to take push early, right? And then when the wave comes back to you, when the wave comes back to him, sorry, you want to be able to fight him because you have to. So two tricks for that. Firstly, when the wave is under your tower after he pushes, you want to slow push back. So like really milk the tower shots and make sure you get as many minions as possible on your bounce back to be able to fight him. So here, misspaced a bit, tank is Q, but that's fine. Now I know he started Q, so I can, like, I'm not, if he starts W, his all-in is a lot more scary, but if he starts Q, I know I can Q him like that, get some poke down. And of course, like, my priority right now is staying high HP, because if I stay high HP, I can play the bounce. If I'm low HP on the bounce, I am screwed. Like, actually. So here, just playing it slow. You see me taking E here. You don't have to. The reason I do it is for this. So with the trading pattern for Darius, actually there's two important things in this trade. So first thing, when he Qs, you want to E towards him. So if he hits the outer ring of Q, it's really, really good for him. It does a lot of damage, it applies a bleed stack, and it heals him. It's a very, very efficient spell to hit. And with your E, you can dodge that. Just dodge towards him, and then you can trade onto him without fearing he's going to get the 5 stack. So here, first thing, dodge inwards to dodge his Q. And then you want to kite it out. So the way your E duration works, it's just enough to get the bleed stacks off of you. So here, I actually did it wrong. I mean, not wrong, but like I should have, like it could not have worked just because he got that one more auto there, so it reset the bleed passive timing. So here you see me walking as far away from him as possible to get me as much time before I snap back. And then when I snap back, the bleed stacks are gone. So even with the auto after, I get the reset. So here he has no bleed stacks. He doesn't have W auto reset, and his Q is down, his E is down. So now I get to trade a little bit. Not too much, because of course I don't want to get too low HP for the bounce. That's always in my mind as a priority. So now he gets his bounce, and I get my slow push. I don't think I milked the last hits like I should have. Yeah, so I'm not letting the tower shoots twice. That's a mistake on my part. Like, I should milk the last hits a lot more, so that when the wave bounces back, it bounces back to here. Like, if I really, really slow down the last hits, it would go out to here. And now we see, because I didn't do it well, it slows down to here. And that adds up to maybe not being able to stack one more wave. Basically, that would give me more minions to work with. So here, I want to slow push again and stack waves, because now he got his base and I didn't. So he has an item advantage. He got a cloth armor, it's not that big of a deal. But still, he has a bit more stats. So here, my goal is just to get the wave in, and to be honest, like, he can't really fight me. He's a level down, and the wave is quite big. So here I get my crash. That's what you want. So like it's stable, right? Your goal is to get to Borg unscathed. If you get to Borg unscathed, you win. That's your goal. And to do that, you want to play well with the wave, play the bounce well, and stay high HP. So here you could base TP. After you crash your wave, in some games you will have to TP because you're too low or something. But here, because my wave was so big and he tried to stop it, and he tried to trade onto me, here in my wave, you see how much damage the wave does to him? And I get the Q. So here he's half HP. He has less HP than me. So here I'm pretty comfortable to play this part because I have vision. Actually, that's a matchup. I didn't say it yet, but it's a matchup where if you verse a high threat jungler, like a Shaco, a Jarvan, a Vi, anything that's annoying to verse, basically, you want to be really disciplined with your warding and your jungle tracking. So here, like it's, yeah, what is going on there? Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, I'm not even, like, when I reviewed this, like, this is so bullshit. It's gonna happen, like, one game out of, like, 400 or something. It's not a death that I want to worry about, and it's not gonna happen in most games. So we will just discount it for now. And then the game plan always stays the same. You want to slow push enough to have a big wave, and if you have a big enough wave, you get to crash it, and then you have your options. So what you don't want is basically the scenario you want to avoid is if your wave is too thin that he gets to freeze, and the wave is not big enough for you to fight him. That's basically the scenario you want to avoid. But here my wave is pretty big, and he was trying to fight me in my wave. Alright, that was not a good trade. Let's see. So here, I don't want to fight him, right? I still have the bleed stacks. It would have gone after AC, but still. So here, he doesn't have the bleed stacks. I should just approach with movement here. I should just go ahead, Q, W him. He doesn't have Q, he doesn't have E. There's no threat. I get to poke down with Q and W. I wasted my E here and got hit by his Q. So what I should have done, walk ahead, Q, W, and when he Qs, I can E towards him like I did the last time. Alright, got level advantage, so I get my crash. By the way, here, my wave was actually pretty thin. Before this crash. Like, there's only 4 minions left. Like, the only reason why I could do this is because he took a bad trade before, and I get the level advantage. Like, let's say in the scenario where I had less HP and it was level 5, like here he could run me down theoretically. So I would have to be more careful. But in this case, it's fine. It's like it would be a scenario where you have to like chill, play it out, and you have to go down a bit of farm, which is fine. Again, your goal is to get the Borg unscathed. Alright, so I get my crash here, get my fruit, and here, very, very important. Now, this is something that it's like a little invisible thing, but if you don't do it, you're gonna lose your games in this matchup. So here, I see my Umbessa being bot, taking dragon, we have good vision on bot side, and the Shaco is not there. He's not showing up on bot side. He could be farming his camps, but like most likely, more likely than not, he's top here. I don't have my ward, I'm not safe. So here, I just have to chill. Let the wave come here, because like if I come out, it's a Shaco, right? If I get out here and contest him on the wave, and the Shaco stop, I'm dead. I'm just dead. Or like if I'm lucky, I can get out with my R, but like, I'm cooked. So like here, if your jungler is playing bot side, and you have good vision bot side, and no one's there, you need to play more passive. That's just the reality of this matchup. You can't contest the wave if the jungler has threat onto you. So here, I recall. And again, the plan... Did I R here? He's greeting for a play, that's why, so I went for the chunk. That's actually something you can go for that's really, really good for the Yone player. Like going for a big chunk because if he's chunked and you're not, you always get to play the bounce easier. So here, again, is the same thing. My jungler's playing really aggressive on bot. Grubs are up. I don't have vision. I don't want to fight him here. I'm cutting out. I do not want to fight here. Shaco could be top. As I say that, I Q in, but you get the idea. Alright, go for a bit of an all-in here. I actually hate this all-in. Because Shaco is probably on grubs, to be honest, and he was just sleeping. I could have died here really, really easily. I should have been more disciplined, like I did on the last sequence, where I just let the wave come back to me. Because my jungler's playing really aggressive and grubs are up, so Shaco's probably top. Here, it still gives us an example of how you play the all-ins. So it's basically the more extended version of the first trade we saw, where, so like here, you don't want to stack the bleed passive, right? So if you have, even just one can make the difference. So one, cut it out. As soon as it's gone, I can turn back, Q, and then you want to E inwards to dodge his Q. That's the most important part. So like here, the trade has been going for a little bit, right? And he only has 2 bleed stacks. Like I'm still not in any danger whatsoever. And I have time to stack my lethal tempo and do a lot of damage to him. And like he just reached 5 stack here, but like he's already dead. Alright, that was really close. Let's see. Why is that too close? Alright, I guess I would not do that. Like I said before, I hate this all-in. That is how you would play it, but honestly, I think I just got a bit lucky here. And I should have just waited for the wave to come back. Because like all-ins are still risky. I thought it was going to be good at first, because I don't remember dying here, but still it was way too close. So, another detail, in this matchup, you want as much combat power as humanly possible. Like I said, best defense is a good offense. So, first base, you want daggers. Here I got 3, but that was because I didn't have gold for anything else. So here, triple dagger, should have gotten potions, but still. Ideally, you get 4 daggers. 4 daggers is a lot of combat power, and then you transition to Greaves and Recurvo. At Greaves and Recurvo, you're actually really strong, and you get to play out the Owlins a bit more. But yeah, so you just want combat power. Like, this is the kind of matchup where going Vamp early it's not good. It's not going to do anything for you. Like, yes, you can stay healthier, but like Darius is not a poke champion. Like, you need to be able to fight him. So Recurve Bow and Greaves is, in my opinion, the best. And then you go into Bork. The reason why you don't really like going Bork straight up doesn't really work is if, like, let's say you have Recurve Bow Vamp Scepter instead of Recurve Greaves, he just shits on you. Like, you can't fight him. Alright, so now we're in the part of the matchup where I have Greaves, I have Vamp Recurve. Like, here I'm just thinking, alright, I need Bork, right? And now we have another situation where my jungler's playing really aggressive bot. We have vision everywhere, Shaco's not showing up. He is top, right? He's in the fog of war somewhere waiting to kill me, for sure. He's actually mid, but he could have been top. Like, if I don't have the information that he's not top when we play like this on bot side, I'm going to always assume he's bot. So here, because we see him mid, I get to go for a trade. It's kind of dumb. I shouldn't really do that. It's fine to stop his base if he wants the base, actually. But here, I'm just letting him shove. And what happened here? I don't like that. That's too forced. He goes crazy. Like, I got a bit lucky. It ended up being really good for me because he burned Ghost and Flash. So it is pretty good for me. But still, like, it's just too forced. I should just stay high HP. Make sure I'm not diveable. And, because, like, right now, my Ambessa is going back on bot side again. Really rough game for being weak-sided as a Yone. Always annoying. But, like, it's just a scenario where you just have to play it out and respect it. So I would rather if I stayed high HP in the previous sequence, but he burned Flash and Ghost. So pretty good. When he burns Flash and Ghost, he doesn't really have much threat onto you. Alright, let's see. I probably could have done something better here. So dodge the Q. Okay. So I missed my R, so I didn't get the kill. Still really good. So one detail that I want to touch on here. Generally speaking, there are exceptions, of course, but generally speaking, you always want to R first and not Q. So here, many people will go for Q, then R. But the thing is, like, let's say you Q, and he dodges your R after, you're really screwed. But like, if you R first, and then you redirect with your Q is generally the way to go. But here, he gets away, and I get some plates, really good. I get my Bork. Alright, flip the switch. We have Bork, we have Greaves, we are really strong. But Ambessa's going bot side again, and we are playing against a high threat jungler. Are we going to play safe? Are we not? Let's see. Alright. Here. A good thing against Darius, he's probably going to have combat sums, right? And you have TP advantage. So in this situation, like, you can go to fights. This is something I don't do that often, just because Yone at Bork is quite easy to kill in skirmishes if you play it wrong. But if you get like a clear 4v, like 5v4, and you have the setup, I would always go for that play. Here, we have perfect vision. The fight isn't started. I'm going to be there early. And then here I get to clean up, get a kill. This is just lucky, to be honest, like the Shaco kill. But then I get to do stuff. The most important thing from that play is like, do I have vision? Does the fight look good? If it does, I'm going to consider TPing. If not, I would just stay top here in a lot of games. But one thing to have in mind, Darius is actually pretty strong in the earlier stages of the game. But like in the mid game, he has like a weird power trough where he's not that strong. And this is coming here. Like, I have my Bork, I'm pretty strong, and he is not. So I usually, in this matchup, want to utilize that. If I was playing another matchup, for example, Yone into Ambessa, Ambessa is really, really strong at 1 to 2 items in skirmishes. So I would prefer not to go there, because like if the Ambessa TPs and I TP, she's going to be more useful than me. And if we both stay in sides, I'm going to be more useful than her. So it's something to keep in mind. But for this matchup in particular, at this stage of the game, with the setup we had in this fight, and with the fact that I had TP and he doesn't, it was a pretty good decision in my opinion. Alright, so we've covered pretty much most of the matchup. I'm not going to go through the rest of the game. That was mostly what I wanted to see. So the main takeaways in this matchup, the most important, if we go to the start, play a bit slower with a few waves, and on the bounce back, milk your last hits as much as possible. So like here, let's say the tower shoots here, do not last hit this minion, wait for the tower to shoot again, then last hit it. Make sure you have the biggest wave possible to make sure you get your crash. And for the trading patterns, always approach with movement and save your E1 to dodge inward of his Q, and then you can play a bit aggressive. If he gets some bleed stacks onto you, you can always E away and kite him out and make sure you reset the bleed stacks. And other than that, for the setup, make sure you have as much combat power as possible. So you go as many daggers as you can buy. You go Greaves and Recurve. You go Bone Plating, Shield Bash, and D-Blade. And make sure you have the ability to fight him, because you're going to need to on the bounce. Alright, that's it for this first episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope that was good learning. And I'll see you guys in the next one.